It's Jason. How's it going, buddy?
You're not going anywhere, old man. Tri-weave titanium-coated armor plate. Nice. Unless you know exactly where to shoot. You're good, Dark Knight. Even better than I remember. It's gonna make it even more satisfying when I kill you. Oh, and don't worry about Barbara. I'll take better care of her than you ever did. Batman's in the control room. Show him what happens when he messes with
So sometimes when a game releases and they have a very bad release, and even if it's just like on one platform, like maybe it runs perfect on PS4, perfect on Xbox, but it runs bad on PC, or runs bad on PS4, but runs good on Xbox. Often you'll see that with games where they just don't perform well, especially nowadays in 2019. More often than not, when a game launches, it launches in a very bad state. You think to yourself, no, do they even polish these games? Are there anyone playtesting these games? What's going on in development to where at launch we're getting these day one patches and yet the game still performs like crap? So there's a lot of games out there that are casualties to that early surge of bad bugs and glitches, and because of those bugs and glitches, people don't play that game. People avoid that game. People give it bad press, and thus, even if that game's good, no one knows how good it is, and because no one really played it, no one really gave it any good press, no one really cared about it because it launched in a bad state. There's a lot of games like that. There's a lot of games that are very good, or at least okay, but because of the way they launch, people never got to the point of acknowledging how good that game is. And a lot of examples of that are Anthem, and examples of that are the Division. And the one in this video we're going to talk about is Batman Arkham Knight. Now, Batman Arkham Knight, to me, is a good game, but it launched pretty terribly. It basically just could not run on PC at all. Like, it was to a point on PC where they had to stay. I think they stopped selling it on Steam. It was offering refunds. Like, it was just a very bad launch on PC. It was pretty terrible. It was not good at all. And you can go all over YouTube and you can watch videos about how awful the PC release was. So because of that, out of the gate, thousands of people, millions of people who are PC gamers just did not play the game at all. Now, some did push through and play it a little bit, but for the most part, the vast majority of people who played on PC out the gate shunned Arkham Knight. So then you have fanboys. A lot of fanboys, when it comes to comic books, they will hate anything if it's different. They'll hate anything if there's what the twist isn't what they want it to be. And the twist in Arkham Knight was that the Arkham Knight was Jason Todd, and for a lot of people, they didn't like that. It's like just make Red Hood. Like, if you want to have Jason Todd be the bad guy in something, just say, hey, here's Red Hood. But what they did was they had this post. I think, was it Killing Joke? I think it was Killing Joke. Forgot which one it was where Jason Todd got killed off when it came to the comics. But Jason Todd got killed off by the Joker in one of the comics. And Arkham Knight kind of takes that idea and more so turns it into, because of Batman abandoning him and not coming to help to rescue him and save him and whatnot, he becomes bad because Batman failed. And the whole idea behind Arkham Knight is he's going to be the better Batman. It's the same thing as Red Hood. Red Hood, he doesn't want to live in with the mentality or the morals of Batman, so that's why he does what he does. So the Arkham Knight basically takes that to the next step. He's going to kill the Batman. He's going to do everything he can to make Batman non-existent because he feels like Batman failed Gotham, and he's going to do all the this is the traditional, I won't say traditional, but it's a cliche trope of a villain. If you ever watch 24 or any kind of crime drama, more often than not, you'll hear the bad guy say, "I'm doing it for the country. I'm doing it because I'm a patriot. I'm doing it for all the right reasons." But so that's basically what the Arkham Knight is doing. He does all these things, but to him, he's doing it because it's for the right reasons. So, story aside, the gameplay is good. So, what is it about this game that people just couldn't get a hold of? Why don't people like this game? It has good combat. It has good gameplay. The Arkham Knight is designed very well. Yes, the boss fight could have been better. Yes, boss fights throughout the game could have been better. Like the Deadshot boss fight in this game, I think it might have been Deathstroke. It was the Deathstroke or Deadshot. I forgot which one it was, but their boss fight was basically a tank battle. It's like, why would you put Deadshot or Deathstroke in a tank? Like, why would that be your boss fight? So that was terribly designed. But for the most part, the game itself is pretty good. I enjoyed Arkham Knight. He's designed amazingly. I enjoy most majority of this game. I can't say anything bad about. Yes, I play on Xbox, so therefore I didn't have to deal with all the issues PC gamers had to deal with. And I feel like you have to keep going back to that. Why is this game underappreciated? Because people didn't want to give it a chance after all that controversy of launch. So Arkham Knight, is super cheap right now. And if you're interested in Batman games, if you're interested in superhero games, I would say play it. Again, yes, some of the boss fights suck, but the combat's good, the graphics are good, everything else about this game is good other than boss fights. So not everything is great. Obviously, there's things about the game other than just bugs and glitches that made the game not as good as it could have been. Personally, for me, I feel like everything involved in the Batmobile sucked. As much as I enjoy the game itself, as much as I enjoy playing the game, the combat, the fighting, the characters, the graphics. As much as I enjoy all that stuff, I hate the Batmobile mechanics. I hate the mechanics. I hate fighting the Batmobile. I hate riding the Batmobile. I hate the tank fights. And to me, that's the biggest flaw of the game. It's just the fight against the tanks because they're not hard to go against. There's literally a line that turns red the second they better shoot you. Basically avoid that line that's on your screen and you can't get hit and you just messed them up. It's not difficult. So the tank battles in the game versus Batmobile, I hate it. To me, it's one of the biggest flaws in the game. There's literally a boss fight against Deadshot involving the freaking tank battle. And that's kind of the issue with the game too, is that a lot of the boss fights were underwhelming. But outside of that, no, those are just the only flaws of the game, in my opinion, though. The tank battles, how easy it is to go against tanks, that build mechanics itself, the boss fights. But outside of that, the game itself performs in such a good way in terms of entertainment. Yes, I play on Xbox, so therefore I didn't have to deal with all the issues PC gamers had to deal with. And I feel like you have to keep going back to that. Why is this game underappreciated? Because people didn't want to give it a chance after all that controversy of launch. So Arkham Knight, is super cheap right now. And if you're interested in Batman games, if you're interested in superhero games, I would say play it. Again, yes, some of the boss fights suck, but the combat's good, the graphics are good, everything else about this game is good other than boss fights. That's basically it. Like, other than the boss fights, this game's pretty good. Like, that's the only thing in this game that I find to be negative, is the boss fights. But from top to bottom, from the DLCs to the main game, I enjoyed this game a lot. And yes, I've played the other Arkham games too, so I am a fan of the Arkham series. So maybe I'm just being biased. Now that's also possible to me. I don't think I'm being biased at all. I think I'm being honest with you guys and give my honest thought on it. But sometimes when it comes to being biased, you don't yourself know that you're being biased. You think you're just giving a genuine opinion, but you don't know that biasm is affecting what you're saying. It's kind of the same thing with nostalgia. You give an opinion on something, but you don't notice that you're being nostalgic. Someone tells you, "Oh, you're just being nostalgic," and you're like, "No, I'm not." But you think about it, it's like, yeah. So maybe I am being biased. But I just think the game's good, and I feel like a lot of people didn't give it a good shot. Because again, we have this mindset in gaming nowadays where something releases terribly, we keep shitting on it. It doesn't matter. We'll keep shitting on it because it released terribly. It doesn't matter if it's good now. It released like garbage, so we're gonna trash it. Just look at Battlefront. Battlefront 2 didn't even release badly. It just had a lot of controversy because of loot boxes. But right now, that game has a lot of content. That game has a lot of stuff to do. That game's pretty fun. I have a video that I'll upload next week. Depending on when you get this video. This video might come up like next Tuesday. Well, the coming Tuesday. So you might see this on a Tuesday. So maybe Thursday after this video comes out, or Friday after this video comes out, I'll upload a live stream video of me playing Battlefront 2. And what you'll see is just me having a lot of fun, because that game is so much fun. But people never give it a shot. Why? Because it was broiled in controversy. In gaming, when something is in controversy, or something has like a lot of bugs or microtransactions, people ignore it. They don't care how good the game actually is to play. They want to focus on what the media tells you about that game. Again, I'll go to Andromeda. Andromeda was not a terrible game. It wasn't Mass Effect 1. It wasn't Mass Effect 2. It wasn't even Mass Effect 3. But by itself, as a standalone game, Andromeda's not even a bad game. Yes, it's kind of bland, you know, but again, it launched with a lot of bugs. It launched with a lot of glitches. And the media made that the focus of Andromeda. They didn't make it the focus about the game itself. They didn't make the focus about the characters, individual characters, or the story. They made it about the bugs and glitches, the facial animations. So that game was a casualty of the media choosing to just focus on bugs and not having people play the actual game. But if you actually played Andromeda, no, again, you won't find it to be better or as good as the previous games, but you'll at least find it a playable game. The same thing happens here when it comes to Arkham Knight. Is it as good as, Arkham City? No. Is it as good as Arkham Asylum? No. Is it a good game? Yes. And in some ways, it actually is better than those first two games. It's better graphically. It's better when it comes to combat. Mechanics in this game are improved, which is what it should be. That should not be a compliment. If a game is the third installment into a series, of course it should have better combat. Of course it should have more smooth mechanics. Of course it should have better graphics. But you still should mention those things. You shouldn't want to, but when you come to these videos where it's a review or any kind of detailed discussion, people care about hearing those things, graphics, mechanics, things like that. The story is fine. Arkham Knight's a good character. I like Arkham Knight. He's designed amazingly. I enjoyed the DLCs. I can't say anything enough about the Arkham Knight game, and it's just good. It's fun. I had so much fun playing that game, and that's all. And I say this in almost every single video. All that matters in gaming is, are you having fun? Does it provide fun for you? And this game provides fun. Everyone thinks too much. I know that sounds weird because we should think a lot, but when it comes to video games, everyone thinks too much. Just have fun. That's all that matters. Are you having fun? Stop looking at under the hood stuff. Stop looking for small details and nitpicks to complain about. Are you having fun? Play the game and figure it out. Nothing to lose on trying to figure out whether or not you can or can't have fun. But with all that said, guys, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy, I'll catch you guys next time. Enjoy your day. Peace out.